back. This is the newspaper review segment of Good Morning Africa. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Alormassor, and of course, as usual, this show is live from our studios here at number 48 Swanika Street in Abelenkwe. Connect with us on the internet at facebook.com/Pan-African Television. We are streaming live also on youtube.com/Pan-African Television. We are also in 46 other African countries via satellites, by the way, and so it means that there are people watching us from Cote d'Ivoire, watching us from Uganda, Mali, Sierra Leone, Zambia, South Africa, Egypt, Morocco, all these other countries. There are people watching us. Let me say a hearty good morning to the people of the Northeast region, specifically the people of Dagbere Boare. Those of you watching us from Dagbere Boare, thank you so much. Timpila, Wunduwa, Langbinsi, Kulgona, Nalerigu, Gambaga, Samene, all these areas where I've been receiving so many messages from. Thank you so much. Those of you watching us from the Upper East, the Upper West region, Tumu, Golu, yes, that's the Sisala West area. Thank you so much. Was Central itself, where I've been to, thank you so much for your time. Jirapa, so Northern region, all the other villages and communities in Northern Ghana. Thank you so much for always making our time. And down south, all of you, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me run you through the topics that we are discussing for the morning. Ghana football fan stabbed to death during match violence. That's going to be our first story. It's an African story. That's going to be African story. Parliament approves 12 more ministers designate as minority rejects Blackwell's approval. Speaker Bagben rescinds suspension of 4 MPs. These are the topics we are discussing on the show this morning. Let me know what your thoughts are by way of messages. Let me receive your messages. I'll be more than glad to read them in the course of the show. Before I even start, I'd want to wish a happy birthday to Onojiolu Ediale. Today is your birthday, 5th of February, and you share your birthday with some very great personalities, including Agwabli. I mean, some people may beg to differ, but arguably one of the greatest players to have ever kicked the round leather ball, Cristiano Ronaldo, who turns 40 today. Today is also your birthday, Onojiolu Ediale, and this wish particularly is coming from Blessing. Tibila Blessing is wishing you a happy birthday, and so she hopes, or she wishes, that all your dreams and aspirations come to light. She said that you've been a very excellent partner to her, and so it's only appropriate that on this day God gives you everything that you deserve. So happy birthday once again, Onojiolu Ediale. Right. I've been joined this morning by Dr. Jamal Mohammed of the Koforidua Technical University. It's always a pleasure to drink from the fountain of knowledge of Dr. Jamal. Dr. Jamal, good morning, and many thanks for joining us.
Good morning, my brother.
I hope you're fine.
I'm doing well.
Great.
I'm doing fine, by His grace.
Great.
And let me say good morning to my colleagues and then union members at Koforidua University, where I happen to be the chairman of the union. I will say good morning to them. And I'm also say good morning to the management of our university. Right. You're welcome.
Right. So I have the singular honor to also introduce the president of the National Democratic Congress's Professionals Forum and a former High Commissioner to the Republic of India, Ambassador Sampi Yali. Ambassador, good morning.
Good morning. How
It's been a while. I hope you're fine, sir.
I'm doing well.
Great.
It's been hectic, but
It's been hectic.
I'm managing. I've not seen you for this whole year.
Yes, that's
Africa
true.
man.
That's true. That's true. But I'm sure I know so much that there's a lot that you've been doing, you know, behind the scenes, the roles that you've also been playing, especially in these times of appointments. Right. And so, without further ado, let's get into today's conversation. And we are starting with a very unfortunate incident that happened some 3-4 days ago in the is it the Bono region? Yes, in the Bono region, where Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko, they went away to Nswatreman FC in the Ghana Premier League. Well, what was just supposed to be a football match, football is something that brings joy to Ghanaians, something that unites us as a people. One of the, I would say, football is arguably the most important of unimportant things as far as this country is concerned. The most important of unimportant things is football, and it's something that unites us, brings us together. It was supposed to be like that, but at the end of the day, one person died as a result of what I would say football chaos or hooliganism. The GFA has taken some remedial measures. We know the Ghana Police Service is also involved. Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare has visited the family of the deceased to offer condolences. But a lot is being talked about, especially about the behavior of football fans, football fanatics in that part of the country. We are not saying this just like that. There's history, there's precedents to back this assertion that the Bono region particularly has been a bedrock of football violence over the years, to the very extent that there are times where commentators are not even allowed to enter the stadium over there, just to put fear into people. A team bus would not be allowed entry. All of these have been happening, but we never expected that there would come a day where it would even result in death. It has happened. A Kotoko fan has tragically lost his life as a result of this. The news also is that the owner of that football club, who was a former member of parliament and a minister as well, he has been apprehended by the police and is assisting in investigation. Some other people have been arrested as well. Guns have been found on them with some 15 rounds of ammunition. Like it's a whole lot of issues, but we are just hoping that justice is served and anybody that is found culpable would face the full rigors of the law. Let me start this conversation with you, Dr. Jamal. This is something that I know there's a story that I know you have been following. Are you surprised? Especially, I have an opinion. You look at our football currently, it's not in the best shape. It's not even attractive to start with. Now you go to the stadium to watch a football match, and then you stand a risk of dying. Where would that motivation come from again to even go to the stadium again to watch a football match?
It's a saddest moment in Ghana's history with respect to football. But as we know that there has been some precedents that have happened. You might look at what happened when there was this stadium disaster.
May 9.
It was a terrible day. But the question is, after May 9th, what other calculative measures that we have put in place such that we are able to even make our stadiums as safer as possible? Let me give an example. Somewhere last year, I traveled and I went to watch a football match. That's the first time that I entered stadium, the first time. And I told somebody that I fear when there are a lot of crowds somewhere because of that. Kind of what happened at May 9th. When we entered, a certain gentleman behind me just threw water onto the field. Before I realized, water from wherever. You see, security is a very difficult situation. When you get into our stadiums, you will see that the police are just close to the pit, just to prevent people from entering the pit. But even with the spectators, you don't see police there. Among the spectators, where we expect that even at the entrance, they are able to check who enters there and whatever the person is carrying. And so we have always been told by FIFA that the Ghana Football Association should be left to themselves to try to do whatever they want to do. And I think that over the period, because of the fact that they have that level of freedom, they haven't placed much freedom on people's safety on the fields that we find ourselves. For example, if you have your freedom to be able to run an association or do whatever that you want to do, then what it means is that you also have to take calculable measures in dealing with security, in dealing with the economics that comes with it, and at the same time in dealing with other issues that will come your way. But this is a case when clubs misbehave. The best they do is that they suspend the club or take 3 points from them. And the next time you see them, the club is up again and playing, which I think that it just serves as just they treat it as just any misdemeanor that we find. Are you okay? But I think that for this particular one where somebody's life is lost knowingly, because if you follow what was happening, I'm told that the gentleman has been targeted per what we have seen, that the gentleman was targeted, and that even when he boarded a bus, I won't mention the station, one of the buses was boarded from the station to whatever, there was a video of that person. So which means that it is an ardent supporter that he was known to the people there, because they've been there to play several times. And I think that it is quite a disaster that Ghana Football Association have to take some responsibility in that, not just only the club, because for instance, there should be that whole level of security. If not people's phones, it means that the camera was not even working properly. I've been not only that grounds, there are other grounds that when you go to play football match, they will intentionally block certain videoing of the proceedings, and you could see coaches misbehaving, referees misbehaving, supporters misbehaving. And I think that is very, very, very outrageous. So us as a nation, where you wake up to hear that someone is killed because of football. And so for me, I think that this should be something that the ministry should take, should rather bring to fore, for us to see what are the things that the state will provide in order to avoid. Because it is obvious that Ghana Football Association cannot do anything. The only thing they will do is to suspend the club, and then the state has to incur certain expenditure in order to deal with some of these attendant consequences that come with it. And so for me, we can't just say this is another disaster that happens on our football pitch. No, we should be something that the ministry should just try to actually find out how we can go about this. One, if the ministry wants to come with certain penal codes on Ghana football, say there's going to be another issue. But I don't think that should be what FIFA should be doing. There should be some leverage that a nation, this is run within our nation, and the governors want to see that these citizens are safe. And so even if there is an association, the best thing you can do is that if you don't want the interference of the state, then you must provide that equipment and other enabling environment that guides most of these things. So for example, look at even the poor condition of a stadium that they play in.
Yeah, terrible condition.
You get to, if you take the Bono region, you go and see, when you see their stadium, you know it's not like any habitable stadium where you can even control. They just have the wall. People even scale the wall and enter the stadium. And so one, you can't even know who enters the stadium. You can't tell who goes out of the stadium. And then at the end of the day, you risk people's life to this venue. And people, I know people behavior sometimes is very erratic. Sometimes the way even we conscientize people in dealing with other human beings is another challenge. So for me, one thing is that I will encourage that the ministry should not just let this be GFA affair, whether the next day we'll begin to have them doing another thing, and before the whole Ghana will be thrown into tantrums. We don't need that. The ministry should come in. There should be a way that we can even sanction people who are supposed to do certain things. The gentleman, the gentleman, I'm told the law has gotten them. The owner of the club has been, even as I said, I'm told he was refused bail. And then there was another person. By the end of the day, you will get a lawyer who will free him. What happens to the disease? What happens to the family of the deceased? But the people are sitting there. And that is why you realize that people have lost interest in Ghana's football. It is when we are playing some things that you realize that Ghana people will now come together, will let's rally behind them. But the fact is that the foundation is weak. The brand has not been trusted, and even the local, look at all the young guys on our campus, for example, they want to go and watch this Premier League by UK, what do you call UK's Premier League.
Yeah.
They don't even watch our local Premier League. The very thing that you are end up killing somebody. So I think that one, the ministry must take a very absolute responsibility by way of seeing how we can bring the Ghana Football Association to check. Because look at this, when they become executive of the association, it's more or less like another venture where people make certain things. And that's where it is there. But you can't even be able to conscientize and also provide an opportunity for us to know what is happening in the field. I think that is what I think the state should do. The state shouldn't just leave it as a GFA affair. Because with GFA, the next day they will still be in their suit like I am, and they will go around with their activities. And what has happened will continue to happen, because after May 9th we saw what happened, and there are others, many issues that come in the stadiums that we have. Sometimes you just go there, they're playing, you realize that the referee wasn't fair. The next day that ends it. If whole match is allocated to the one who was unfair on the field and got it. We go there, supporters with throwing water at other their opponents. At the end of the day, they get them confused, they get them points that they want, and that is noted around that belt. I think that's something has to be done about it.
Thank you very much. If you are just joining us, this is the newspaper review segment of Good Morning Africa. We are currently discussing the unfortunate incident that transpired in Nswatre in the Bono region, where one football fan tragically lost his life. Let me also say a good morning to Saka Salia of the New Patriotic Party. Saka, good morning. I hope you're fine.
I'm doing well.
Great. Now, I turn attention to Ambassador Sampi Ali and also take his thoughts on this latest development. Ambassador Sampi Ali, I know, loves his football. As to whether he has time for it nowadays, well, that's a conversation for another day. Ambassador Sampi Ali.
Well, Blaise, good morning. Good morning, and then thank you for your grand submission. And my MPP friend, how are you? You are cool. Good. I told you so. I told you so. See, a country that never learns goes around to come and meet the same disaster, and nothing comes out of it. You know, Blaise, this country is just 34 or so million people, but our passions and our emotions are over 100 million. Because in politics we are emotional about it, in sports we are emotional about it. Everything we do, most people attach emotions instead of common sense. So last time I was advocating for the Ministry of Common Sense, because you get up to go to watch a football match at a stadium. What on earth will strike you to go there with a knife? And worst of all, with a gun. In law, we call it premeditation. So you are premeditated to kill somebody by carrying a gun or a bottle or even a stone to the field. Because you are just going to watch a match, that's all. But I agreed totally with my son that this ought not to be a GFA matter, because the life of a Ghanaian is involved. And in the world of the US and other places that we know, everyone's soul is important. You saw the big plane flying to Congo. What was it going to do? Going to take an American who was supposed to be killed. But in Ghana, our lives don't matter to ourselves, much so to our government. Otherwise, when you have told your wife that I'm going to watch a football match, the next news your wife will hear and children will hear that dad has been stabbed to death. So unacceptable, so barbaric, you know. And you see, in those days, when football was football in Ghana, this is not the time, my son. This is not the first time we have seen footballers. So we have seen Ose Kofi, Dodo Ankra, Fedo, top-notch footballers who played football from their heart, who played football with their brains. Today, what are we singing? Anybody with money puts up himself and says, I formed a club. And they don't have a management team. He is the sole proprietor and everything. He gets a few supporters to buzz around and they say that's a team. So the technical ingredients that should be, leveraged by the team itself is not there. Look at the way our players play. And I mean, a few times I get the chance to watch the European matches. They play with the football, we play with the ball. Do you understand what it is? Do you know what it is? They play the football. If I'm here, Saka knows that I'm going to pass the ball there. And you also know that from that, you're going to pass the ball to this. And they place themselves in positions. Watch our Ghanaian footballers. They will be following the ball and go and fall down. And when there's a small touch, the referee whistles, then it creates emotional reactions from the supporters. But the question is, what has made people so emotional without common sense about soccer? Is it the case of their investment? I'm told that these days, betting, people bet so much about football, on our football. And therefore, they go to the football pitches wishing to win. And anything that is done with money, people don't attach common sense. They only attack their heart. And so, if that player scores, I say that, oh, my son will score a goal and I get a 20,000 series. The goalkeeper there will then allow the ball to be scored so that, fix matches around. What is it about our sports, like other disciplines, like other issues in Ghana, that we don't get right? Why? What is it about us that we don't get anything right? We told that all things, politics is collapsed, education is collapsed. Let us then have sports, which is our national passion. Because in my days, Saka, you were a small boy then. When Azuma was going to box in Australia, how old were you?
Bless, I've not yet been born.
You see, we stayed all night. The match will come on at 3 a.m. We stayed and watched Azuma Nelson. Why is it that today we don't even hear that there's boxing going on in this country? In those days, I want to go to the sports stadium as an Accra House of fan. I want to go and see Shamakwe. I want to go and see players of fair and sign the rest. Today, when you go to the stadium, who are you going to watch? Bless, who are you going to watch? We get a boy from a village. He knows how to play 2, 3 months, 4 months outside. They go and play even in Ukraine. When I was in India, there were some stranded players from Ghana because somebody had told them they are going to play football in Gujarat. Gujarat, there's no football team there. They came, collected their passport, left them. Because the children have been made to know that if they travel outside to go and play football, they'll get money. So the love for the game is not about playing, but it's for money. I don't say playing for money is wrong, but that are some of the reasons why we are seeing this behavior. Why would you go to a stadium with a gun and a knife, and I'm told the policeman is involved? Chief, when you see the policeman at the sports stadium, what are they guarding? What are they there for? They're just at the perimeter of the field. Yeah. And sometimes footballers, supporters even cross to the field before they start chasing them. Maybe I'm too old to observe, but that is what I have observed. Watch European matches or other matches. You see the policeman, one is here watching the football field, one is there watching the crowd. And never will turn his eye toward the field. By his camera, he's capturing everybody in his zone. He's watching them. The GFA had been left, like my son said, they have been left too much on their own. And instead of managing, developing our game of passion, they have turned too much into management and marketing. Anytime they are having a meeting, to change management or to vote. But as to how we are getting this beautiful game, you know, you say I'm a football fan, but I'm a casual football fan. I am athletics and tennis fan. I play tennis a lot. So I pray that what has happened,
tennis.
lawn tennis. I pray, no, I was the African Tennis Association legal advisor, you know.
Oh, okay.
I pray that what has happened should be the last time any soul should die on our field. Kotoko is a big club. As management is seeking to improve the club by buying new players, they should also find a way of talking to their supporters. You know, House of Folk should also do that because they are the biggest clubs that we have. If you don't educate our players, anytime House of Folk and Kotoko meet, there's going to be trouble. Anytime Kotoko and some other team meets, there's going to be trouble. And finally, the kind of pitches we are calling stadia is appalling. I watched a match and somebody's house was just behind the goalpost, and the ball went and bounced back the house and came back. And I was saying, if the ball had fallen there and the man has taken the ball, how on earth do you build stadia like that? And allow Tamale Sports Stadium, Secondary Sports Stadium, Accra Sports Stadium to rot. Bless. We discussed the Secondary Sports Stadium here some time ago when they said that they were doing some renovation, and indeed nothing was happening. Why have we allowed ourselves to go and play on small pitches we call AstroTurf? Small pitches, less than the dimensions of FIFA.
The standard football pitch.
Less than that. Why are we so enthused in building AstroTurf instead of using the money to renovate the standard stadium that we have? I don't understand. Maybe you are young people, you can explain to me. But if this match had been played at the Kumasi Sports Stadium or Accra Sports Stadium or any good stadium, look at the perimeter, how it had been fenced. It would have been difficult for anybody to go in there after the Accra Stadium crisis. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ambassador Sampi Ali. Saka Salia?
Yeah, Blaise, thank you very much. Good morning to my co-panelists. Let me take this opportunity to greet somebody in Wa. He's my father, actually. He's called Alhaji Aziz from Poguri. Unfortunately, he's an NDC, one of NDC Star Wars. He says when I come here, I should stop giving in the NDC trouble. So. No, why is this okay? He said I shouldn't attack people too much.
I want to attack.
Oh, okay, then I will attack. So I will attack. So good morning to Alhaji Aziz Poguri Ansuma. First of all, I mean, if you look at this stadium thing, I don't know the reason why I haven't followed this particular incident so much. I have not followed it so much. The only thing I know is those who have been arrested, and then the fact that somebody was killed, and then is the former minister's bodyguard who is involved, and all those things. I really do not know the reason for the attack, but I saw some video where the deceased was talking about the fact that they wanted to enter with their vehicle or something, and then the other side did not like that. They wanted them to walk, something like that. But in all these things, I love football. It interests you to know that I used to be a football analyst and a sports analyst, actually. And for me, people having enthusiasm in football is good. I mean, if you have enthusiasm is the flame that gives the interest of the game. That brings the interest of the game. If you don't have the enthusiasm, the passion for it, There's no way you'll be following football all around. I mean, those days, I remember those days, anywhere Kotoko goes, we go. You know, if it's Kumasi, we follow. If it's anywhere, we follow. But these days, I don't even know, I can't mention one or two names of Ashanti Kotoko players. Sometimes even the Premier League clubs, I hear the names, I say, where from this team too? I just don't know those teams that constitute the Premier League, the Ghana Premier League teams. It is as a result of the interest that has been lost over the years. Like Uncle Sampiale said, I mean, the interests have waned over the years due mainly to the fact that we do not have stars in the Premier League and all that. But one thing I will say is that it is not so much about the interest. Okay, sometimes even the interest itself can be whipped if we put certain things in place. For instance, if you go to the English Premier League, the La Liga, and other jurisdictions, they invest so much in security. You see, when you are going to a stadium and then you believe that your life will be safe, the enthusiasm even grow more. But when you are going and it is like you leave your life to chance, anything can happen. So let's go, anything can happen. Because, I mean, for the life of me, I don't understand why anybody will be going to watch a football match with a pistol or with a gun in him. It beat my imagination. Unless maybe if he's there to protect the boss. Even that one, I don't see it. But the fact is that what has happened tells us that we still have problem with security. Not only at the stadium, but in almost every facet. Because where people congregate, that is where security must also be beefed up. And you have 50,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people congregating in a particular environment. And then security is so lax to the extent that any and everybody can do anything and go scot-free. That's the problem. We have seen in the past, I mean, what happened at the Accra Sports Stadium in 2001. I was there. I was in the stadium. Oh yeah. I was in the stadium. That's the May 9th disaster. Wow. Yeah, I was there watching the match. But it's interesting to know that I did not even know there was a disaster even after I left. I went home before I left. Some people were telling me that what happened. I said, what happened? I never knew there was any disaster because the disaster happened after the match. It was after the match that when people were going, then others started throwing stones and removing the plastic seats and all those things. So those who left, about half of the people who left did not even know that there was a disaster. We only watch it on television. But what I'm trying to say is that despite all the security, sometimes you can still have some of this. Even the Premier League and other places, we've seen, I mean, Liverpool in the 60s, we've seen what happened there. Even most of the leagues, you see fans still jump onto the field and go and hug a player and all those things. It happened. But in our case, it's like, it's nothing at all. I mean, it's like there's nothing. No security at all. And one thing also is about our mentality. We are so obsessed with spiritualism. I'm sure if the allegation of the fact that they wanted the car to move, they wanted to go with the car, and then the other side said that the car should not go. I hope that is the reason. Is that the reason? Because I don't want to.
Please still investigating.
Yeah.
It's still being investigated.
Then it has to do with spirituality. You see, some people want the players to walk and then walk past certain, voodoo things that they have done. And then they also believe that no, the car has to. They don't have to walk. I mean, I remember some time ago. Oh yeah. I remember some time ago, some club had to use, longer routes in order to get to the stadium. Yeah. They say if you pass that river, if you pass that river, there's no way that you can win a match and all those things. So Kotoko has to.
They have to. They're not just coming this way. They have to.
And sometimes it has to do with the last player that will enter the field.
Yeah. Right.
So you see the 11th player. He's somewhere like he's doing his boot and another player.
That player is also somewhere.
I mean, so sometimes they end up playing 10. I remember it happened.
3 years ago, it was 10 players that they brought onto the pitch.
Yeah.
Ghana Premier League. Yes. 10 players.
And I remember Accra as a folk too. We
came by reverse.
Reverse. Yeah.
And so all of these things exist, and for over 40 years now, we've not won the Africa Cup of Nations. For over 40 years, we could do all these things and win them. For over 40 years.
Yeah, sometimes whoever will score the first goal will die. So even when they get penalty, they don't want to score.
I've heard those things.
Yes, players sleeping in the cemetery.
So I can foresee spirituality, unnecessary spirituality in some of these things. Come with your car. We are entering with our car. No, you cannot enter with your car. I mean, what's the difference if they enter with their car?
You can score goals.
You get it. Unnecessary things. So for me, I think that we have to eschew certain things. Security has to be beefed up. Let's investigate this matter. Whoever is caught in the web must be disciplined to serve as a deterrent. But as it is now, we need a complete revolution of our football. Our football has retrogressed to the extent that we have lost complete interest. And that can explain the reason why over 40 years we have not been able to, because all the stars are gone. I mean, playing in even other African countries all over. I mean, littered all over Africa. Look at the rating, the African rating when it comes to the local team, the local, we are nowhere. That's the reason why our representatives, they only give us one.
Yeah.
We are not even the top 12. We are not there.
There are leagues doing far better. South African league.
South Africa, Nigeria, all the North African countries are doing better. All of them are doing better than us. This is a kotoko of old. I mean, those days when you say kotoko, when kotoko name is mentioned, it sends shivers down the spine of almost all the African clubs. Today, I mean, almost in extinct. I think we can have another day to talk about some of these things. Let's just talk about politics.
Right. But not always politics. Sometimes we make time for other conversations, including, of course, football. I'm hearing that the owner of Nsuatreman has been granted a 500,000 cedis bill. Yeah, late last night with some sureties, I guess. One surety, right? Right. Let's move away from that conversation and let's come back to, of course, politics. Yesterday in Parliament, a lot of happenings there. We are going to look at the specifically the approval of some 12 ministers designates, as minority also rejected the likes of Ablakwa and then some judges' approval. Saka is waiting with sharpened mouth.
I like
he says, I should not attack DC.
So you are not going to attack this one?
Yeah, I'll attack small.
But a lot
he said if I attack it, it will come with consequence. So
I understand. Right, but some 12 more ministers have been approved. A lot has been happening in Parliament, particularly with regarding to the appointments committee. What transpired a few days ago, where tables were overturned and state property like microphones were destroyed. Speaker suspended some 4 MPs. That decision has been reversed, by the way. But a lot, so much has been happening. Even yesterday, things happened in Parliament. If you listen to
what are some of the things
I overheard one MP refer to Dr. Zaneto as the daughter of Emedra.
And did you see some judge to watching pornographic in this?
It's not true. I can show the picture.
No. It's the one I saw.
No, so it was a doctored picture. It was a fake picture. It was a fake picture.
I'm shocked.
It was a fake picture. Oh yes. But we can't show the pornographic one. But we show.
But how would you know that what you are showing now is the actual?
Oh, I can show you the picture personally.
So the one with the pornographic,
the same thing. It was the same thing.
It could be yours, could be the fake, or the pornographic could be the.
No. It was a public picture. It was a picture that was taken.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody just took it and then doctored the screen and put something else on the screen.
You are not getting the point. Mm-hmm. One can be fake.
No, we are telling you that it wasn't a picture that he took privately. It wasn't a picture he took himself.
So pornographic.
No. Crazy to go.
Saga, ask for this one.
No, what you are saying is that. No, tell me, convince me. You say what?
I'm telling you that it's not a picture that he even took himself.
That is not what we are talking about. We are not saying that if you are watching about the pornography, you will see he himself.
Who was doing this? Is the picture. This show it to Saka. That's it.
Where is it?
Why are you scrolling?
No. It worked. By the time he gave it to me, no. By the time he gave it, no.
It hadn't gone. It was still there. Have you seen it?
So this could also.
What could be what?
No, so which one is the fake?
So let me show you. Bring the phone. Return my phone to me.
One is a fake.
Yes.
But as to which one is fake?
No, we know which one is fake. It's a public picture. It's a picture that is there.
So the other one, the pornography is not public one.
No. Somebody just doctored it. Somebody took it and doctored it. And
I'm not convincing anybody.
Listen to me. If he seeks to say that Honorable Sam George, who is the elder of a church, was watching pornography, that is not far less than Sewabroni. That is far less than Sewabroni. So stop that.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but we can't come to Pan-African television, and when all of us are telling you that that's a wrong picture.
No, I'm not saying that.
Listen to me.
No, you don't understand.
We are telling you that it's fake, and we're giving you.
You cannot just tell me, convince me.
Original picture. This is the original picture. We are not just telling you that it's fake. We showed you the original picture. You said no.
Did I say no?
Yes.
I said no. You said no. You are yet to convince me. Which one is the original?
Saka. These things it happens. People take pictures or even videos and doctor it.
I understand. I know.
People take videos.
That's the reason why I said that one is original, one is fake.
Yeah,
but
we showed you the original one.
Which one is the original?
It's
yet to be.
And the original one is even clear. It's as clear as daylight that you could see that. So original.
Chief, if he seeks to play the mischief with that by saying that there could be something else than what all of us have agreed, show him the picture of Sewabroni and Akufo-Addo. Show it to him. Show it to him.
And there are more pictures to be shown. If you show me that one, I will also ask you to show me another one.
I can vouch that Honorable Sam George, he himself was under pressure because of the vetting discussion.
There was now relaxing.
So he was there listening to, looking to messages messages today. I've seen on his website. Please,
Yeah,
he has
that's what I
even
should do.
published what he was watching on the Facebook. Yet you are sitting here
What you were reading or watching?
reading and watching.
When you say what he was watching, it's going to confirm that he was indeed watching something.
He was watching the screen of his phone.
He was watching.
But you say what he was reading,
He was watching Sao Bruni. He was indeed watching Sao Bruni.
Logical.
If you sit and somebody is behind you, definitely you may see what you are watching. How would Sam Joy be that silly, excuse me to say, to be watching pornography?
No.
In any case,
No, but why are you mentioning me?
Saka, in any case,
I brought this issue. Nobody brought it.
I brought this issue.
Yes.
This issue is
You brought it up here. You brought it
that
up.
is why- that is why
you brought it up.
that is what
this issue even occurred in Parliament. It was even said in
he
Parliament.
brought this mentality from the house.
No. You remember that he came in Parliament. They said that you want what he
Discuss that.
whilst in Parliament.
Discuss the MPs.
You remember?
Discuss MPs.
I don't know.
Oh, didn't you hear Abu Jinapo's statement?
They what?
He said he should be careful what he watch when he's in the house.
Who?
Sam George.
Abu Jinapo, the one who was okay. We'll come to that. But
I mean, it was all over the
it is
place.
the same misinformation.
So misinformation.
Go ahead.
It's been rife. It's been
Go
rife.
ahead.
It's been rife. And I mean,
If you are a young man,
Okay, so let's go.
you are
So,
a young man. If somebody,
where are you?
If somebody did that to you, would you be happy?
Did what?
That you are almost the same age as Sam George. You understand?
Oh, I'm older than him.
Okay,
He's
so
my younger brother.
If somebody did that to your younger brother, would you be happy?
Oh, did what?
When the man is watching his phone and we all saw what is on it, he said, "Oh no, then you could
He was
watch
watching
something else."
pornography.
Did I say no?
Yes.
you brought it up. That having that conversation.
I said there are two things involved.
Okay.
One must definitely be fake.
And we've told you that
You are just using emotions. This one is the
which one is the
original.
emotions?
I mean, you cannot just shout on and make one original. Being original, you need to prove that this is the original.
The law of logic plays well in whatever we do. In all places, for me, in all places, Parliament.
Knowing that there are cameras.
Yes, and his work, and there is cameras everywhere.
They are the
No, it's not
center of
possible.
attention.
If he's in his car
Pornography.
and he watches it, you can say fine. In his house, fine. Or outside anywhere. But
We've heard of people watching pornography on projectors.
I tell him.
I think you see the reason why I tell you see when I saw it, I also believe that. No, listen. When I saw it, I also believe that.
We've heard of people watching pornography on projectors.
No, when I saw it, I also believe that it cannot be the truth.
Yeah, so
Yeah, because do you know the reason why?
No.
I'm not even using your reasons. I'm using the fact that this were gay pornography.
So you see, it's
And
very
it means that
interesting.
it's gay pornography. It's not a man and a woman. This is
so it tells you that
it tells you that some
Let's
some
not
people
bring
are
this
starting
to
to.
the center of our
So that was what I was thinking.
the other more critical there are more critical issues to discuss, and so let's go
you see
into
the NPP. The same argument had been raised on another television station.
Which
The same gay thing was raised.
That-
were you at the meeting of communications, your communication team yesterday?
where at where
Your communication team.
at where.
so like they took a collective
Collective
decision.
decision to raise it, no matter what.
Oh please. we never had meeting.
Okay.
Let's
Let's
proceed.
go to the issue. Now come back to
Let's go to
come
the
back issue.
substance. The substance of the vetting. Saka, your minority leader, the Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin, he yesterday said the MPP were going to wash, or they had washed their hands off the approval of the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and Sam George. Even before that, if you look at what transpired during the vetting, where the speaker issued a communique, and mid-vetting, the minority decided that they were going to go with the speaker's, what the speaker had brought out, the speaker's communique, and so they were going to walk out of the vetting and then continue on the following day. The majority still continued, and then they approved all their ministers. Now, according to the minority leader, that was illegal. However, I mean, well, according to him, that was illegal because they did not participate in that process. But Ablakwa and then Sam George, you are not approving them based on what reasons? If you listen to the reasons that the minority leader stated, one, he expected an apology to the president and to the chief justice, yes, to the former president and the chief justice for comments that Sam George had made. That was his basis, his stance. I want to find out from you, was that enough to overlook the competence of the person and say, look, you are competent, but I want to apologize. I want you to apologize for something you said some time ago to my president and to my chief justice?
Yeah, first of all, I think that when we talk of competence, some people think your ability to maybe stand and talk, or your ability to sit in an office in an air condition and command people to come here. That's not competence. Competence also involves your temerity, the temperament, your ability to, your honesty. All those things are part of competence. So when people say that, oh, the person is competent, but they are only talking about some non-issues, I don't think so. Anybody at all can go and occupy those seats, especially if you are already an MP, because you have already crossed one leg of the qualification. Because once you are an MP, you qualify to be a minister. Now left with certain, ingredients, and those ingredients include honesty, incorruptibility. There's so many, and those to me are the competences. And in the vetting, Okujato Ablakwa has been proven to be very dishonest, because that airport hill that he's talking about, that he's renting, it's a lie. It belonged to him. He bought it himself with his own money. And he used, I mean, if you look at if you go to land commission, the land in question is in the name of his sister. And then you come and tell her your sister that you are taking care of is a landlady and you are the tenant. So that proved that the guy is very dishonest. And apart from that, you can see Sam George also proving arrogant in the way he answers questions, also proving very dishonest by saying the wife was the one taking care of him. He's married to an entrepreneur, and therefore all the expenses of his education come from the wife. And I mean, we all know that this is a charade. This is a complete voodoo dance. It cannot be so. I mean, we all know. But you see, I know. I mean, in politics, people, especially when you are, I know Uncle Sam Piale will come and defend him because he belonged to the stock. But deep in his heart, he knows what they were saying, complete lies. And this is not even the first time that somebody is asking a nominee to apologize. You remember Fifi Kote and Co. After all the things that they did when the NDC was in position, and then they lie to Ghanaians that Kufuor government has stolen, the gold reserves, and they brought some bank accounts that could take care of even the whole world. When some of these things were put to them and they were subjected to street proof, they eventually had to succumb and then apologize. It's not only them. Even I remember in some cases, some MPP people who also went to the vetting committee, had to apologize for some certain things that they said in the past. That's the reason why in this vetting committee, it is always important that you allow the minority to take control, but not to ask any and every question at all, but to take control of because if I'm an NDC and then the NDC person is being nominated, there are certain questions I will not ask because of who we are and our leaning. You get the point. But you have to let the other, because the other person that can bring the best out of them. Look, when Afenyomakin and then the group left the vetting committee and went out, look at the disgrace that followed, the kind of questions. I mean, some of them just come. I mean, it was like, my goodness, it was like they were never vetted. Come, who is next? Who is next? Then the person will come and sit down. Tell us about yourself. Anybody? No question. Go. You hear from us. Next.
But you see, Saka, if you say that, I also think that your minority leader is also complicit in this, because to come and tell us that the Greater Accra Regional Minister, who is supposed to lord over a very important, no disrespect to the other 15 regions, a very important region, the Greater Accra, that provides us with 90% of our tax revenue, the seat of government. You are telling us that the woman cannot withstand scrutiny, so they came to beg you and then you let it slide. What sort of infantile, for the lack of a better word, infantile excuse is that? You are supposed to vet the person, scrutinize the person. You are telling us that they came to beg you to say that, oh, the person can't.
No, I mean, I think
let it slide. How?
I think if that is what he said,
that's what he said.
He misspoke, but he is not the only person that can scrutinize.
I'm only telling you that it's also an enabler. Is that who has asked more questions on the appointments committee than Afenyomakin?
Yeah, because somebody also said the chairman of the committee on TV3 yesterday, or Sunday, that the woman came with former ministers. And that explains the reason why.
And Afenyomakin of all people also.
Wait. I agree. I didn't disagree with you when you talk about Afenyomakin's behavior. But I said the chairman too. This is what the chairman too said. He said that he came with Afeto Agbo. He came with Tatos Glover, Henry Koti, and that shows that this with the weight of this individual accompanying her, it means that they don't have problem with her. I mean, so now these are the people who are vetting. When you are going there, even if you are even a criminal and you want to go, you want to get the approval, get some weighty people behind you, so that they will go and then hoodwink the committee. It doesn't make sense. So in this case, the ranking member and the chairman of the committee goofed big time. And can you imagine another one? I mean, saying that we don't have anything to say. I mean, how are you? And those saying bye bye. And you see, it's so disgraceful. It's so disgraceful, and that is the reason why, over the years, I mean, now we will let, apart from even the allegation of taking money. I mean, those allegations. I don't want to say certain things, but we all know that there is some modicum of truth in it. We all know that. I mean, nobody can play the ostrich. But you see,
if they invite you to the privilege,
nobody can play the ostrich.
I'm not here.
I said there is some modicum of truth. You see, so I'm saying, if you look at all these things, the minority in the committee are as important as the majority in the committee. So if one group, by the fact that the speaker has made some pronouncement at the plenary, and then they decided that if we continue, we might be in contempt of what the speaker, the ruling of the speaker. So let's go and then have some dialogue, and then you continue. And that was the time they massacred the committee image. They massacred the committee. They brought the image of the committee to ground zero by calling come. What's your name? Oh, okay. You hear from us. Next. And they were making mockery of our democracy. And for me, you can pass them for whatever that you want, but you are making mockery of our constitution, our democracy. And these two guys, Okujato Ablakwa, who has taken the moral high ground, decimating and bringing every perceived big person within the MPP person to, you know, name to disrepute. Now he is being subjected to answer question on his own integrity and is found wanting. And you think the MPP will just, the MPP minority will just say that, oh, despite the fact that Okujato could not impress us, he should go. I mean, we are talking about, for God's sake, the number one, number one ambassador of this country, the number one, the person who goes out with the image of Ghana on him. And we said, oh, let's let him pass. When we have others like Lawrence Ampiale and co, who could prove the image of Ghana in a positive light better than some of those people. It's as if the NDC lack people, and therefore, once it is Okujato, it is Okujato. And look at him. I mean, the chairman of Aura, that nebulous group that they form, and then you go around ransacking people's places, you know, besmirching people's image and desecrating the law, calling people name even before they are being put for trial, and then you are asked to come and improve your worth. He was even asked a question on this isotophone thing. And he says that, oh, the isotophone thing, no, some people wrote, and then he I mean, no, he used telephone to call Martin Amidu, that pay isotophone. And Martin Amidu said that was even insulting on his person for a deputy minister to take a telephone and call him. A cabinet, you know, attorney general should pay isotophone. But you know, let me end with this, because I mean, I don't think we have time. The isotophone case, do you even know what it is? This is a Spanish company that Ghana government had money from, and from the Spanish government. Yes. And then they said that you have to give the contract to a Spanish company. Then the contract was given to a different Spanish company, and Isotophone, which is also a Spanish company, says that they should have gotten the contract. You get the point. And yeah, these were the facts. These were the facts. So this matter, do you know what happened? The NDC Attorney General then, Betty Moridisu, instituted a probe. He brought some group of NDC lawyers. He gave them 400,000, that is 4 billion, that they should look into the matter. You listen. They should look into the matter to find out whether Ghana government has a case. And then those guys, NDC guys, who are lawyers, they call them NDC something. They have a certain name. I will get you the name. They came out and told the Attorney General that the government has a case, so they should not pay isotophone. By the time they came out with their report, the Attorney General itself, had already released money to be paid to isotophone. And then Okujato and Ablako and Co were now following for the rest of their money. And this is a guy that, you know, parade himself every day as somebody who is an anti-corrupt, anti-graft fighter here and there. He should not be approved. He should not have been approved.
Saka, the problem of Ghanaians too is that you knew all these, you had all this information, and for 8 years you didn't prosecute him. You didn't prosecute who? Ablakwa, if you have all these
how do you prosecute somebody for, you know, a calling?
Not for his calling, for the fact that he had allegedly committed these crimes that you have stated in the last 8 years.
Which crime? No, you let me finish, because I want to get his question. You
are accusing him of corruption, right?
He's a corrupt individual.
Fine, good. When did all these corrupt practices take place?
Long before the NPP came to power.
So when you came to power, why didn't you prosecute him? Why?
I mean,
is it because
this
it's
a criminal matter has no you know?
Is it because it's something that you people
at any time it can still be hauled
well, right. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Saka Salia. Let me come to Ambassador Sampiale. Ambassador Sampiale, some of your ministers, the NPP, had problems with some of your nominees.
Well, even before that, Saka is entitled to his own opinion,
Right.
but he's not entitled to his own facts. The Sofoton case was of the following facts. The Spanish government gave Ghana a loan to build this whatever, the thing that you put on for sun.
Is it on the stadium?
No. Energy.
Solar?
Solar,
yeah.
Solar panels. Then Kufuor came without any justification, cancelled the contract and gave it to another company.
Another Spanish company.
Yes. But there was an existing contract and you are a law student. So Sofoton then sued Ghana government for breach of contract. Okay? They pursued it until NDC went out of office. So the fact that you may have been carrying may not be the entire truth.
No, you haven't said anything different from what I said.
No. But
The facts,
you see,
as
if
related from here.
Okujato was pursuing Call Amidu, that the company had a fact, has indeed had a reason and a case against government, he was right, isn't it? You are a law student. If there's a breach of contract, what happens?
There was no breach.
Saka, many children don't remember even this.
There was no
if
breach.
you want a current case of breach of contract or any, refer to the Trafigura case.
But I'm saying that in this case, there
I'm
was no
saying that
breach.
if you have current memory of corruption, refer to the Norwegian embassy. If you have memories of, now we are losing our...
The Norwegian embassy matter.
We are losing
Okujato lost the matter.
We are losing our embassy in some buildings in UK. Refer to that. When there's an existing contract, because
Regina House?
Yes, Regina. We have owned that house since 1957. You see, I don't like this equalization, but if there's a topic to be discussed, and then you go and bring isophoto, what happened to the...
But it's part of the topic.
What happened to the dress ship? What happened to the
But the
dress ship?
Bishop Tatu and Co.
See,
who brought that problem?
Bless. There are a lot of listeners that want to take information from us from our discussions. So let them discuss the topic. This vetting, for me, as important as it may be, for me, has been much ado about nothing. And let me explain why. These are members of parliament, apart from the regional ministers who have not been members of parliament before. These are people who the public have passed their verdict. They have been with you for 4 years. Some have been with you for 12 years. And if you have such facts against them, why have they kept them? Do you understand my question? If they have such facts about Okujato's building for you to come and sit here, for you to come and sit here and say that he's corrupt, your government left office not more than 1 month ago. Today is the 1 month. Today is 7th or?
No, today is 5th.
5th, 2 days to 1 month. So you had all the chances on earth to have asked Okujato how he got his building. You don't wait until when there's a vetting.
But we asked him.
When there's a vetting, you know, it is different from other types of inquisitions. Because when you go to court and you are being cross-examined, the rules are different. In that case, you have a lawyer who can object when a wrong question in law has been asked. But when the person is sitting before you for vetting for a ministerial appointment, why I say it is much ado about nothing is because the issue should be how you are going to get the strategic trust or the strategic policy of the person to, for example, solve the dirty nature of Accra. I just want for
even if you are dirty yourself, it doesn't matter.
And you know I'm not dirty.
No, I'm not talking about.
You know I'm not dirty.
I'm not talking about.
So don't bring.
I'm not talking about the real.
That is insulting to me.
No,
I mean that's insulting to me.
No, it is not you.
Please, let me finish.
The person
when
on
you
the
are,
seat
when
must
you are
have the credibility.
But Saka, why don't let him finish?
Yes.
I was saying that if I'm vetting somebody for Greater Accra, I'll vet him to see his or her mindset about the problem that he's going to be confronted with. For example, if the case of Accra, I'll ask, Accra is filthy, isn't it? Accra is dirty. How are you going to solve it? Right? Then, for example, our street lights, because I live in Accra, I pay my electricity bill and there are bills attached to street lights. I'm going to ask the nominee how he's going to solve that problem. I'm going to ask the nominee how he's going to solve the Galamsey problem, which has turned all our water bodies into something tea. Right? That's what I would ask. I will not stray into people's lifestyles.
Even if it's a convict.
Saka, I've run programs
Sorry,
I've run programs for you for a long time, and I don't.
I just said it.
I don't want to take this. No. Why do you always people talk about this? I mean, I'm your
yeah, no.
Yeah, so please relax.
You are my uncle. I was only trying to see that the person should have credibility.
And the whole vetting, for me, apart from being much ado about nothing, because in the end, how many MPs have faced the vetting committee and have been disapproved? We were in this country, bless, a minister that was going to ministries of fisheries and aquaculture did not even and could not even define what is aquaculture. Fish farming. Yet we approved of it. And some of the reasons given were religious, tribal, and other, feminine. Oh, it's a woman, let us add more women. We have seen it before in this country, haven't we? We have seen the vetting, where the vetting committee chairman will not even allow Sunyini to ask a question about somebody's previous acts. We've seen it here in this country. So if you have a vetting and we turn it into a public inquisition as a public inquiry, then I have a problem with it, because of the fact that there was even no fairness, there was no equity in the way they vetted. How could some people be vetted for just 20 minutes or 10 minutes, the minimum, and the rest 6 hours? If you took a plane from Ghana, you would have landed in Heathrow.
Heathrow Airport, 6 hours.
Some people do this. Oforiatta and Co.
Oforiatta, my son. My son.
No, I'm supporting you. Like,
Oforiatta was vetted 2 days because of his own health conditions.
It's also 8 hours.
After Oforiatta, you bring Esloshu, but I will not answer. You see, the strategy of the NPP, if it was just to show that they are there in Takrari language, then they have misfired big time. What was the issue? They brought us some names and they have increased it, and therefore we are tired. No, so bless. When they are discussing their salaries and the conditions of service, the last 2 parliaments, they sat all night for 2 days.
And sacked the media.
Sacked the media. Thank you, my son. They have even had sessions on Saturdays. They were not tired. Yesterday, up to 11 o'clock, they were still in Parliament. At 10 o'clock, they were still in Parliament. They were not tired. So the grounds for the confusion, baseless. You understand what I'm saying? the grounds of confusion was baseless. Especially so when by the same afternoon marking, they had a timetable of people to be interviewed, vetted, isn't it? Then he brought in the Vamao case, Oliver Vamao, the following day, disrupting the timetable. And in the end, he even insulted a senior lawyer Atudazi of 50 years practice.
What was the insult?
See, what was the name?
There was no insult, so tell her what was the insult.
I will respond to
Yeah, so you cannot, because there was no insult.
He ended up, when Atudazi said, I've been 50 years in practice, okay, and this modus operandi is alien to me.
Yeah, because 50 years they should have gone on the retirement cry. Because it should be alien to him.
Saka, allow, please. Allow him to conclude.
Saka,
okay,
Saka,
please. Ambassador, let's proceed. Let's proceed. Let's proceed.
I want to go away.
No. Let's proceed. Ambassador,
you cannot allow him to harass me like that.
Let's proceed. Ambassador, let's proceed. Respectfully, let's proceed. Conclude.
You see, I am old enough to be your father. I am coming here because of the love we have for our listeners.
Yes.
And then if you're going to help me, listen.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I've played politics more than you were born.
Yeah, so sorry.
Let's proceed. Ambassador, respectfully, let's proceed.
So, on the point of the issue that brought the destruction, I've proved to you that it's baseless. You understand? Because when it's the question of fatigue, even yesterday, they dispute themselves that going after 10 o'clock was wrong, after 8 o'clock was wrong. Then what even frightened me, what frightened me was the manner in which the minority leader addressed the female clerk. I was sitting there.
He apologized.
No, please.
He apologized yesterday.
You don't do things and apologize later. If you know what you are doing is not right, don't do it. I'm not a lodge member, but I see things written by the Rotary Club who says what you are saying, if you know it is the truth, and even if the truth, would it hurt somebody? It goes on and on. You know what you are doing, that speaking to a woman publicly for 11 minutes. You knew it was not right, but he did it. I am bringing it up because this is what we are discussing. It's not because he has apologized or he has not apologized. You know, bless, you know what I'm raising, why I'm raising it? If this was done in caucus, it's okay. But it was done in the full glare of the television. The whole world was watching us. So only last week, Ghana has recorded 2 negatives in the international scene of international relations. The football case will go and mark violence. Yeah? The vetting to violence. In the end, does the NPP, my son, do they have the numbers to say that we are not going to approve anything? I saw the drama of Afenyo Makin saying that he was washing his hands. I am happy he washed his hands. When Pontius Pilate washed his hands, Jesus was killed for our salvation. So I am happy that he washed his hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'll do a few messages before I come to you, Dr. Jamal. Saka, it is good news that you have been advised not to attack the NDC, but don't ever think that you are always attacking the NDC. You have all this while been tickling yourself to laugh and not in any way relevant in any discourse at all material time. Try to change, because we from the Upper West region are noted for our respect for every person. Okay. If you don't change, change will change you. This one came from Stephen Peng. Good morning, Bless. MPP is intentionally refusing to approve Honorable Ablakwa because, being a foreign minister, he will delve deeply into their lootings into foreign countries. Kwesi Tapa Abotuase. in the Biakuya district. Okay, thank you, Kwesi. Good morning, Bless. Please remind Saka that some of us still remember the mud he smeared on John Dramani Mahama. Remember, Saka sat in your studio that day claiming and boasting on authority that President Mahama was going to be full of complacency in his inaugural speech. Not even a single thing of such was done. Shame on you. Okay.
Complacency. What is he talking about?
Good morning, host. Before anything, may I please plead with you to read everything that. Okay, concerning what happened in Parliament yesterday, it is disgraceful. This is another clarion call for the review of the Constitution. Politics must be made unattractive to prevent all kinds of people entering Parliament. By one, scrapping the ex gratia, reviewing of scrapping of the salary structure of Article 71 office holders, where every Ghanaian being paid from the state coffers must be paid by the controller in accordance with a single spine salary structure. Organized labor should be serious and champion the cause for these instead of waiting for a referendum from Parliament, which will never work. Isaac from Ho. Thank you, Isaac, for your message. Ken Williams says that, good morning, since NDC cannot create jobs for everyone in this bankrupt economy, Jakba is the way out. NDC can help those of us who want to go abroad where we can earn more to support the party and the country, just as India gets over $120 billion yearly from remittances. I have a lecturing job from a French university, but no means to go. I made similar jobs in the past for the same reasons. Luckily, the university has branches in Africa, in Dakar, Douala, Morocco, Mali, Tunis, etc., where I can go with little help. Please tell Uncle Sam Piale to get me help from the executive. I'm one of your own from the Volta region. Attached is my offer letter and recommendation from the university. Hey. Please share my WhatsApp with him. I also need his WhatsApp for the details.
But the university can provide you tickets.
Ken Williams is one of our ardent viewers. He sent this one. Good morning, Bless, and this will be my final message before I turn my attention to Dr. Jamal. Please let Saka understand that he belongs to the minority, for which reason they should stop walking out of parliamentary business. The mighty majority will continue to approve government business. Finito. Pablo from WA. Thank you, Pablo, for your message. Now, Dr. Jamal, let's hear from you, sir.
You see, I'm briefing. I asked this question. I think I spoke to my colleagues at the office, and I was asking them, why vetting? I don't know whether we have pondered such a question before. The president has nominated by the rules of engagement. They said, the parliament should vet them. Why are they vetting them? It's more or less like an interview, right? So what is the essence of interview? It's to bring the best out of a person, right? So for me, I was thinking that some of the questions that I asked, that's my personal opinion, were not necessary. They were not necessary because you want to know how efficiently and effectively someone would drive a seat and accomplish a vision that the appointee, the appointed person asks the appointees to live by and to provide for us as a nation. But this is the case. We have our leaders who ask certain questions. Sometimes you ask yourself, so at the end of the day, how is that contribution, the contribution to that particular question overall to the role the person is coming to play? Let me give you an example. In the process of the vetting, questions about your father, have you gone, are you a Freemason? I was asking a question.
Sing a song.
I don't know whether you are getting me. Like, what is the role of a youth leader and his religious background? It has no correlation. If you go to sit there as a youth person or someone who is a minister in that kind of seat, what does his religion got to do with what he was coming to do? So sometimes I think that we need to, Parliament will also have to come out with us to understand time is a productive input. Okay, and so Parliament must, and I think it's very important that they must even say that even if all of us will have to interrogate based on questions, you should have some level of minutes that you should have questions. If you look at, I was just going through the order of the Parliament, the order, what do you call it, in Parliament, and I realized that you don't even have a timeline They have allowed it open. Someone can just bring to the minority leader to just ask political question. But I'm not zeroing that to him. But I am saying that we must quantify time as an input. If we have 4 people, even 3 people to vet, are they going to say they're going to spend the whole day to vet these 3 people? What about their role in Parliament that could have done other bills that is before them? Right? Knowing at the back of your mind that you don't even have the numbers to disprove an individual from being given an opportunity. You should know that time spent over there is just to catch the public eye. But what is the average person like me sitting somewhere going to think about all of them? So that's also a lapse on Parliament. Parliament must begin to think through and say, look, we are supposed to do a particular job for the state. It doesn't matter whether you're MPP or NDC. Governance will change continuously as we live in this world. And so at the point in time that you are not the one on seat and you are supposed to help in procuring an agenda, you have a role to play. But your role should not mean that you should distract the very process that we have built for ourselves. And so for me, one thing is that I don't know how soon they normally amend their parliamentary orders. It is good that this is a top notch in their amendment, because you can't use 8 hours. And some of the questions, they ask him, when was the last time, where did you sleep? What kind of question is that? And he said, which house did you sleep? No, my brother, we are not in court. In fact, look, there are certain times, at the end of the day, the person think the person owns a house. Who owns this particular house? I get in it. And if the person says, I do not do, and you have a counter opinion, what do? You provide it. But at the end of the day, the question we should be asking is that, what are all these questions in tandem with, whether it is in tandem with the person's rule and responsibilities coming to play? And so if we are able to think through that measure, then the question now is, would, at the end of the day, make the person a better off to be able to serve the kind of position he or she is going to serve? Or is supposed to be something that will serve as a disadvantage to the country? In terms of criminality, we all know that the Constitution has provided if you have all this, you can't even be an MP. The person has become an MP, right? Now he has that level of credibility from the onset of his people. He has been privileged, been given a position. The question you'll be asking is that, how will I even benefit? Even some of them ask those questions. How will I even, my constituents benefit? I didn't see anyone answering that question. How will my constituents? Because for me, if very soon we are launching our barometer on those things. We want to see, sometimes some of our MPs are playing. Forgive my language. They shouldn't call me. This is in.
Yeah, how will your constituent benefit from what?
For example, let me give an example, Saka. We have an education minister there to be vetted. We have employment minister there to be vetted. We have a youth, whatever, all the ministries, those who have come to be vetted. We have a communication minister there to be vetted. The question is, agreement there to be vetted. Your locality, you know your locality. I know my locality. If I were to ask a question to the agreement minister, the question I'll be asking is that, how much of contribution will the government do to my farmers in my area who are contributing to farming maize? I get it. In my area, we cultivate corn. How much of government funding that will go there? So the minister should be able to tell me that government is allocating 1 million, 20 million will go to the other region. If it is Minister of Employment, how much of job creation are we going to do to reduce the unemployment rate we have in the that is personal.
In your constituency? Yes.
But what are you talking about?
When you are sitting there, you are not sitting there only for your constituency.
Please, but I'm telling you that you are asking questions.
If your constituency will get and then the others will not get, you don't care.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, so don't.
Please.
No, at the committee level, it's not about constituency.
Saka, let me tell you something. One thing that's
it's about the generality of
the generality is that the people.
Are you listening to? He said, if I'm an MP from a constituency,
I will ask
a question that will benefit.
But that would be selfish.
It's not the reason why they are there as individuals.
No, but not in the committee level.
But even at the committee
level,
they're asking useless questions. They're asking useless questions over there.
But they are asking those questions. It's not as if they don't ask questions like that.
The most sensible question came from that woman.
Yes.
Who asked Akando.
Yes.
We have backlog of nurses.
Yes, she asked that question. Yes.
And how are you going to solve that problem?
That problem.
That is the question we want.
We want to hear.
Yes. Because it's a problem that affects my nephews,
Zaka,
my daughter.
let me tell you one thing.
No, but
Zaka, look, you see, the gap in Ghana is because we disregard microeconomics. Economic units of individuals, household, and agent, and deal with macro. So you see all the we talk about grammar. Oh, the GDP is this. Is it? Look, our development in this country is supposed to be in tandem with the little peasant farmer. Those things that we do at that micro level, and cumulatively it gives a macro intent.
No,
but so if I live in where I come from, Tamale, Sakanarago, where my people in the community farm maize. And I sit there as an MP, I'll be asking the minister.
No, nobody said it's not correct to ask that. But to say that because you are in the committee, it's not every MP that has the opportunity to be in the committee.
So, but let me ask a question.
So, if you get the opportunity to be in the committee and you are asking only for your personal interest,
it's not my interest. How do you define your interest?
No, because you are acting your community.
No, the community
is
the community not part of Ghana. But what I'm trying to say is that individually, if all of them were to be asking some sectoral aspect of the country,
did he see chiefs and other people there?
No, they're there.
Did he see? The chiefs want to know
what will come to them.
Yeah. What is politics about?
So it is not about just
the aggregation of all our interests that come to the
together. That's it. That's the one I'm making.
And you don't understand.
So for me, in summing up, for me, I think that Parliament will begin to now have to read through some of these things, so that at least once somebody comes, we are going to look at what leadership are you bringing to fore, so that at the end of the day, in putting together, Ghana will be forward where we want Ghana to achieve. But when I come and sit there and you ask me that I have lied, if you believe I lied, provide the evidence. Remember that people are giving they have this security.
Lie and come there, no problem.
Please, they have security document. BNI, the NIB will go for your document. Do all these checks.
As at yesterday,
yes,
Sam George had provided all his evidence that was asked. As at yesterday, Okujato Ablakwa has submitted his document. As at yesterday in Parliament.
So all his documents.
So for me, they say they are not approving them. It's neither here nor there.
Right. Thank you very much.
Ask him, does he know of any document that have not been submitted?
Right. Thank you so much. My time is up. I want to thank you, Saka Salia. I want to thank you, Ambassador Sampiali, and Dr. Jamal Mohammed. Once again, a happy birthday from Blessing Tibila to you. Onu Jiolu Ediale. She says you are her sugared clarity of blooming coffee trees, and then may the rest of your life be the very best. Everything that you deserve should come to you. Happy birthday once again, Ono Chiolu. Right, this is where we draw curtains on today's edition of the show. Tomorrow, the Thursday edition would come your way in full swing. Until then, do have a pleasant morning. Bye-bye.